The near Earth realms are the kind of a contemporary graveyard, so to speak. In other words, back in the early days of Earth, when one died, they went back to their angelic families. They passed through things like the crystalline realms and went all the way back to their angelic origins before coming back to Earth for another lifetime. Over time, though, and over with the gravity of mass consciousness, most humans now, upon death, simply go to the near Earth realms, which are basically very similar, almost the same as the human realm, but without the mass of the physical body. But this is where people go and they continue to live out what they were just living on Earth. I've talked about it in Dreamwalker Death, but if they were an alcoholic, they end up in a bar in the other realms. If they were a Catholic priest, they end up in a monastery in the other realms. If they're lost and searching and lonely, they end up going to the other realms and being lost and searching and lonely. It's rather disappointing because it was always meant to go beyond that. It was meant to go into the crystalline realms and back to the angelic families after the angelic families disbanded, meaning to go into a higher order of things, going to Theos, for instance. But most humans, the vast majority of humans, simply go to the near-Earth realms. They continue acting out, often with a quasi-human, almost biological mental systems, until they are sucked back down to the planet by their own gravity of their own karma. It's not something that there's a crew of angels that's sucking them back down here or anything. It's their own gravity and their own karma that's bringing them back. This isn't changing right now. This isn't getting better. It's actually getting more dense in those realms, fewer and fewer going beyond, but that will change. As more light is grounded on this planet in beings like yourself, that will have a very profound effect on both the birth and the death processes.
Yeah.
And then you took on your first birth into biological form. That was a big step. Because when you took that first birth, now you were in, and you are now subject to death, which you had never experienced before. But more than that, you were subject to birth, coming back again and again and again. That whole cycle of biological incarnation, that once you're in, it can be rather difficult to get out of until you've completed the journey. Very difficult to get out of that whole cycle of life, birth, and death until there is a very clear knowingness in your soul, in the deepest part of you, that you've completed what you came here to complete. There are those who try to get out of it. I'd say take on a number of lifetimes and say, this isn't for me. I don't particularly care for this. I'm not going to come back. They're drawn back in, kind of a combination of magnetic and gravitational forces, not just physical forces, but these forces that draw them back in. There's some who try to stay away from incarnations for a long time, kind of hanging out in the near-Earth, non-physical realms, but eventually they're really sucked back in. Because once you get into biological incarnation, you're there until you come to your freedom, until you realize your sovereignty, or until you realize your enlightenment.